The Galactic Council had existed for 12,000 years. 700 species had joined its ranks. They had mapped the stars, conquered diseases, and built empires that stretched across entire galaxies. When they first detected signals from a small blue planet called Earth, they laughed. Ambassador stood before the council chamber, his 4 eyes blinking with amusement. He was one of the oldest species in the galaxy. His people had traveled between stars when humans were still learning to make fire. The humans have sent another message, announced. They are asking to join the council. Laughter filled the chamber. The delegates, massive creatures with stone-like skin, made rumbling sounds of mockery. The beings of pure energy flickered with colors that meant disbelief. "What can they offer us?" asked High Commander of the Empire. His voice was deep and powerful. His species had conquered 3 galaxies through war. They have barely left their own solar system. Their technology is primitive. They still use chemical rockets. Nodded slowly. "That is true, but there is something strange about them." Strange, leaned forward, his massive claws scratching the marble floor. "They are broadcasting everything," explained. "Their music, their history, their wars, their achievements, they hide nothing. They send signals into space without fear. They want to be found." The council fell silent. This was unusual. Most species, when they first discovered space travel, became quiet. They learned the first rule of the galaxy: silence means survival. "They are fools," concluded. "They do not understand the dangers." "Perhaps," agreed, "but I propose we send observers. Let us study these humans before making any decision." The council voted. The motion passed. 3 ships were sent to Earth's solar system. They were ordered to watch but not to interfere. They would study the humans and report back in 100 Earth years. Observer was young by standards. She had only lived for 300 years. When her ship entered Earth's solar system, she felt excitement for the first time in decades. The humans were fascinating. They were weak physically. They could not survive in extreme temperatures. They needed oxygen to breathe and water to drink. A child could crush 10 of them without effort. Could burn them with a single touch. But notice something else. The humans were always moving, always building, always changing. In just 50 years they had transformed their planet. Cities grew taller. Machines became smarter. They sent robots to other planets and dreamed of sending themselves. They evolved quickly, reported to through subspace communication. Too quickly. "What do you mean?" asked. "In the time it takes us to debate a policy, they have invented new technologies. They do not wait for permission. They do not seek approval. They simply act." Considered this. Continue observing, report anything unusual. Did as she was told. She watched as humans made mistakes and learned from them. She watched them fight wars and then make peace. She watched them fall and rise again. One night she intercepted a human transmission. It was a story, a piece of their fiction. The story was about humans meeting aliens who came to destroy Earth. In the story, the humans fought back. They won. Found this amusing. What arrogance, she thought, what foolish hope. But as years passed, she began to wonder. The humans told many such stories. Stories of survival against impossible odds. Stories of sacrifice and courage. Stories where the weak defeated the strong. Why did they tell these stories? Were they preparing for something? 70 years into the observation, everything changed. A war fleet appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system. High Commander had grown impatient. He had decided that humans were too noisy, too dangerous. They were attracting attention from things that should remain undisturbed. "We will cleanse the system," announced. "The humans will be eliminated. Their signals will stop. The galaxy will be safe again." Watched in horror as the fleet moved toward Earth. She had grown fond of the strange little creatures. She did not want to see them destroyed. But what could she do? She was just an observer. Her ship had no weapons. She could only watch. The fleet numbered 1,000 ships. Each ship was the size of a small moon. Their weapons could crack planets in half. Against such power, what could humans do? The answer surprised everyone. When the fleet entered Earth's solar system, they detected a transmission. It was not aimed at them. It was aimed at empty space beyond the galaxy's edge. "What are they doing?" demanded. "Who are they talking to?" His officers analyzed the signal. It was a simple message repeated over and over again. It said, "We are here, we are ready, we are no longer afraid." Laughed, "They think someone will save them. There is nothing out there, the void is empty." But then something impossible happened. The void answered. From the darkness between galaxies, a signal came back. It was not in any known language. It was not even electromagnetic radiation. It was something older, something that existed before the stars were born. And it was coming closer. The Galactic Council held an emergency meeting. Stood before them, his face pale with terror. He had never felt such fear in his long life. "What have the humans awakened?" demanded the representative. "We do not know," admitted. "But whatever it is vast. Our sensors cannot measure it. It exists outside our understanding of physics." "This is why we stay silent," High Commander said. His voice had lost its confidence. "This is why we do not broadcast signals into space. There are things out there that should never be disturbed." But the humans knew this, realized. They always knew. Look at their stories, their myths, their religions. They are filled with tales of cosmic horrors, ancient gods, things that sleep in the darkness. The council members looked at each other with growing fear. "They were not afraid," continued. "All this time we thought they were naive. We thought they did not understand the dangers, but they understood perfectly. They simply did not care." His voice came through the communication system. She was still in Earth's solar system, watching events unfold. "The humans are not running," she reported. "The fleet has stopped advancing. They are terrified, but the humans are celebrating." Celebrating? Could not believe it. Why would they celebrate? "I finally understand," said softly. "We stay silent because we are afraid. We hide in the darkness, hoping the ancient things will not notice us. But the humans have a different strategy." "What strategy?" asked. "They made friends with the darkness." The thing from the void did not destroy the fleet. It simply looked at them. In that moment, every soldier experienced true terror. They saw their own insignificance. They understood that they were nothing but insects crawling on a rock floating through infinity. The fleet retreated. They fled faster than any ship had ever traveled. High Commander was found days later, sitting alone in his command chamber, whispering to himself. He never spoke properly again. But the thing from the void did not chase them. It turned toward Earth. It descended slowly, gently, like a parent approaching a child. Watched in amazement as humans gathered on their rooftops, in their streets, on their beaches. They looked up at the sky with wonder and joy. They have been waiting for this, realized. Their entire history, all their stories, all their dreams, they were preparing for this moment. The thing from the void communicated with the humans. No one else could understand the conversation. It lasted for 7 days and 7 nights. When it was over, the thing retreated back into the darkness. But before it left, it gave the humans a gift. 3 months later, a human ship appeared before the Galactic Council. It was small, ugly, and poorly designed by galactic standards, but it had crossed the galaxy in 3 seconds. That should have been impossible. Ambassador Sarah stepped out of the ship. She was short, fragile-looking, with dark hair and calm eyes. She walked into the council chamber without fear. "We come to join the council," she said simply. "We also come with a warning." Found his voice. A warning about what? Sarah looked at each species represented in the chamber. She saw their fear, their confusion, their ancient pride crumbling to dust. "We know why you stay silent," she said. "We know what lives in the void. We have known since we first looked up at the stars and felt that we were not alone, but we chose a different path." "What path?" asked. He was a broken man now, but curiosity still burned in him. "We reached out," Sarah explained. "While you hid in fear, we sent messages of hope into the darkness. We said hello to the universe. We told stories about ourselves, even the ugly parts. We shared our music, our art, our love, and our hate. We were honest." And the things in the void responded. Sarah smiled. "Some of them are very old and very lonely. They have watched species rise and fall for billions of years. They have seen countless civilizations destroy themselves or hide in silence until they faded away. But they had never seen anything like us." "What makes you different?" Sarah thought for a moment. "We are small and weak and we live very short lives, but we dream big dreams. We love fiercely, we hope desperately, and we never ever give up." She paused and looked directly at. The Ancient Ones were curious. They wanted to understand creatures who were both so fragile and so brave. So they answered our call, and now they are our friends. The council chamber was completely silent. "Your silence kept you safe," Sarah continued. "But it also kept you alone. We chose connection over safety. We chose hope over fear. And now we carry the protection of things you cannot imagine." She turned to leave, then stopped at the door. "The galaxy is changing," she said. "The old rules no longer apply. You can continue to hide in silence or you can join us in the light. The choice is yours." She walked back to her ship and disappeared into the stars. The Galactic Council debated for 100 years. In the end, most species chose to follow the humans. They began sending their own messages into the void. They started sharing their stories. And the darkness listened. It turned out that the universe was not as empty or hostile as they had believed. There were things out there that were ancient and powerful, yes, but they were also curious and sometimes kind. The humans had taught the galaxy an important lesson. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is speak when everyone else is silent. And sometimes, if you reach out your hand into the darkness, something wonderful reaches back.